All right, what's going on? It's Funny Saw Man Glenn from the Toohey Fee brand new morning show over here on Q104. And we're sitting down with Chef Ellis from Amp 150, one of my favorite restaurants that I have never tried yet. Chef, what's going on?
Not much. Up early in the morning, down here delivering some food and talking shop.
So tell us a little bit about Amp 150. Tell us where it's located and like what your philosophy is with food.
We're located inside of the Marriott Hotel on 150th Street, right off of 71. Philosophy with food is such, Ohio has so many great things to offer on a local standpoint, so that's been the basis of what we've been doing. We have a little bit different location, but that being said, we still are kind of sticking to our guns and sticking to what we're trying to do. Buying local food, using fresh products. That's it. Everything's prepared fresh daily.
So now you've had like extensive training. Obviously, you've come from New York. I know you just recently came from South Beach, which is where you were working at before. How is the food scene different in Cleveland versus some of those other places you've been?
I can say honestly that the food scene and what's happening here in Cleveland is what brought me here. I've lived at this point in my life kind of all over the world and chose to come to Cleveland because of everything that was happening. The support of the populace here in Cleveland, the people. The fact that they're going to go out to these restaurants and that they go to the farmers markets, the same farmers markets that I go to and a lot of other chefs here go to, and then they'll come out to our restaurants and support us and support what we're trying to do. So the food scene here in Cleveland is phenomenal. There's a great food scene in New York, you know that. I mean, it's kind of a given. But even to get the local stuff in New York, you got to go outside of the city, kind of not that far, but you know you're still hauling stuff in. Whereas here in Cleveland, you can kind of go down the street and pick up a lot of what you need.
And one of the things that I've noticed with your restaurant is that you guys are incredible marketers, and you probably don't have a budget like a lot of places. I've noticed you guys on Facebook, I noticed you guys on Twitter. How important is social media to what it is that you do, and how successful has it been for you?
I'm going to say that next to serving good food daily and really next to what goes on each plate, the most important thing to me here has been social media. Not being a native Clevelander, not knowing anybody when I got here, that was the only way that I could really get out and touch everybody and say, hey, this is who I am, this is what we're doing, this is what we're all about, come and see us. And really incentivize the people to come out and see us as well by offering a lot of free things, letting them know, giving them all the information that they need, pictures of the food, pictures of the restaurant, pictures of the garden that we had, keeping everybody in tune with what exactly is going on. And the personal touch is that it's myself that's doing all of that. So if you have a question about a dish, or hey, I have 10 people coming in and 3 of us are vegans, and you send me a direct message on Twitter, then I'm going to say, okay, I know you're coming in, I'll reserve a table for you, and I'll make sure that I have some special stuff for you when you get here.
So when you talk about food, I mean, obviously you brought in a bunch of food for all our listeners this morning. What do we have here? Because whenever you do a food interview, whoever is asking the questions has to take a bite of the food, has to look at everything, because, you know, that's just what we got to do. So what kind of sandwiches do we got here? Man, that looks delicious. Yeah, what is it?
I'm sorry, that's our Cuban sandwich.
Cuban.
It's the picnic, or the shoulder of the pork. We roast it for about 8.5 hours.
I take my gum out. Yeah.
It's going to be delicious. Take the meat off of that. That's house-made Cuban bread, homemade pickles, homemade salami, and honey mustard. So usually the Cubans come with like roast ham or a sliced ham, so we changed it up a little bit. You got a little bit different spices in the salami to kind of complement everything.
Delicious. Now talk a little bit about the garden that you guys have, because that's how I first got acquainted with you. I saw the piece that the Plain Dealer did. You guys have your own garden. You go and grow a lot of the stuff that you do right in the restaurant, right?
Right. Our garden was a 1/4 acre in size. We had probably 400 stalks of corn, 86 tomato plants, maybe 50 jalapeno plants, not jalapenos, habaneros, Hungarian sweet peppers, bell peppers, fennel, sweet potatoes, lemongrass, tons of herbs, zucchini, squash. We had just a ton of stuff out there. It's a 1/4 acre, it's really large. And we use stuff from that all year long. We planted it in different cycles so that we could use that and really continue to harvest things throughout the year. Yesterday was really the final day of the garden. Myself and my sous chef went out and picked about 180 pounds of green tomatoes that were still left on the vines out there. Brought all those inside. We pickled all those, so we're going to have tomatoes throughout the year. And then we took a bobcat back there and drug all the dirt back, made a big composting pile, which we'll continue to add to throughout the year, and then we'll replant next year.
Ah, that's so cool. All right, it's AMP 150. Let people know how they can find you on Facebook. Again, where your hours are, where you're located, all that good stuff.
All right. Well, it's in a hotel, so our hours are 6 a.m. till 12 a.m. Lunch starts at 11:30, and we do an all-day menu that goes from 11:30 until 12 a.m. We're on 150th Street inside the Marriott Hotel. You can follow us on Twitter at AMP150 Cleveland. AMP150 Cleveland is our tag. On Facebook, we're at AMP150. And then you can also look at me, Ellis Cooley, on Facebook, and they correlate, and I post a lot of the same things on both sites. Yeah, that's it. Come out and see us. You've heard about us, so come see us.
Executive Chef Ellis over here on the Toohey Fee podcast. Thank you very much, man.
All right, my pleasure.